Hello everyone and welcome back. My name's Dustin Kreis and it is 5 in the morning. I have about a half hour to kill before I have to leave for work, and I just figured why not cram in a YouTube video? Hey, why not? This one we are going to be talking about movies, specifically sort of my guilty pleasure movies. These are movies that aren't so good. Some of them are, well, one of them is actually pretty terrible. But these are movies that it just seems like everyone hates, but I personally really kind of enjoy. And, you know, it's funny how our taste in movies change and how people like certain things. Like, my wife likes horrible chick flick movies, but then again, I love these sort of terrible, well, not really terrible. None of these movies, well, one of them is really terrible. But it's funny how, what we sort of go towards, you know what I mean? So let's go ahead and not waste time, because I don't have much time to waste, and let's get right into it. And we're going to start off with The Truman Show. Now, this is a movie that I think here in recent times has gained a lot of prestige, and people are really kind of going back and looking at it again. But when this first came out, people were just so divided on it because, oh, it's Jim Carrey, but he's not doing the funny faces and all that stuff. You know, is one of Jim Carrey's first sort of dramatic roles, and it really threw people for a loop. But I think now when you go back and you really look at it, this was like almost prophetic in a lot of ways because of how television is now, and really this movie is not that far removed. I mean, you can really almost see this happening. But when it first came out, people just were not having it. But I thought it was brilliant. And especially now when you look back on it. But Truman Show, definitely a good one if you haven't seen it. And then the next one comes from a guy that, man, when he nailed it, he nailed it with his first movie. And then the second movie was even better. And then things kind of started to trail off from there, and to the point where he's almost a joke now. But when I saw the trailer for this movie and then went and saw it, this is my favorite movie by him. That is The Village by M. Night Shyamalan. Old Shyamalama Ding Dong there. You know, he's almost a joke now because of his movies. Just, they always have that twist, you know, and you got to work really hard to get to that twist. But there's just something about this that I love watching it. I love, sometimes in movies I almost like the scenes and the music better than the plot. And that comes into another movie kind of later on. But I really enjoyed The Village, and I thought it had a really good story. I liked how it kind of faked you out with a twist, and then at the end it delivered the real twist, which, I mean, if you sat and thought about it, you kind of saw it coming. But at the same time, it does talk a lot about sort of paranoia and fear, and what are we willing to give up in terms of having a safe society. So really a lot of ideas there. Unfortunately, it was coming towards sort of the end of M. Night Shyamalan's career, really. Then Lady in the Water came and just nailed it in the coffin. And let's not even talk about, I can't remember what that movie was called, The Happening. Let's not even talk about that thing, that piece of shit. But yeah, The Village is his last good film, and I really enjoy The Village, but a lot of people did not like it. The next one is probably one of those movies that, well, it's gone through several cuts and several DVD releases, but I actually had, when I got this version, I actually really kind of enjoyed it. It is kind of a mess of a movie, but, you know, sometimes those movies that are messes are a lot of fun, and that is Alexander Revisited, the final cut. I've seen every version of Alexander, and I don't know why this cut wasn't the first cut. I don't know if it was like, you know, studio pressure or whatever it was, but this is actually, it's not a fantastic movie, but it is a good movie. You know, it's not one of the best historical movies out there, but I really did enjoy it and thought it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed Val Kilmer's performance a lot. He just plays crazy extremely well. Yeah, you know, the set pieces are nice, but it's hard to tell, you know, sometimes these historical movies, it's hard to tell the accurate story and keep it interesting, and I think that was one of the problems with Alexander, was that Oliver Stone was trying to tell as complete a story as he could, but keep the pace rolling. And you know, a lot of these movies really really lose their momentum. You know, these historical pieces. But you know, if you get this, and you can buy this on Blu-ray for like $5 now, so it's really not a bad investment. I mean, it's going to be what, like over 3 hours. It's 3 hours long, but you know, if you don't like it, you only spent $5 on it, so why not check it out? But I definitely enjoyed Alexander Revisited. The next one, there was a lot of hype about this movie, and I was super excited about it. And we went with a big group of friends to watch it, and it was only myself and another guy that was with us that really enjoyed it. But I like noir movies, and this is sort of a new take, not a new take on noir, but sort of a throwback to noir, and that is The Black Dahlia. A lot of people just did not like this movie because it's only peripherally about the Dahlia murder. It's about the really it's about these two investigators that are looking into the crime and how obsession has overtaken both of them. It's really more of a character piece than it is like a mystery to be solved. I can't remember her name, but where's that? Mia Kirshner. Her performance as Elizabeth Short in this is really good. For the limited screen time she has, really, you know, cast a huge shadow over this movie. But I was just in love with it, and it was sort of Brian De Palma's return to this genre after not being in it since The Untouchables. So I love The Untouchables, and I actually really enjoyed this movie. It takes a long time to get started, but once it does, I really found it to be quite good. So a lot of people didn't like it, but I really enjoyed it. Sinuses. The next movie, I think this movie has kind of, you know, I think it has definitely gained some prestige in the last couple years, but I have always really loved it, and that is Starship Troopers by Paul Verhoeven. Not as good as RoboCop, but it kind of tries to, you know, move in that same vein with the over-the-top violence and trying to make a critique about our current culture. That's the kind of things with his movies that I really... that I really enjoy, is that you know, there's these over-the-top action sequences, but it really has a mind behind it as well. And I think what this movie says about our current culture, where it's just, you know, everything, we always see constant commercials for the military on, you know, the TV and things like that. I really do think that this movie really says a lot about sort of American wartime culture. I don't know, but at the same time, it is a fun action movie, but there is a brain behind it as well. Not as big as a brain as behind RoboCop, but it definitely has more on its mind than just shooting aliens. So it's definitely one you should check out. But I really love the like it says here on the back, the only good bug is a dead bug. You know, I really love that over the top sort of fascist you know, propaganda that's in this movie. I think it's a lot of fun. And it's a decent movie. Yeah, I did enjoy it. Now the next one is kind of, you know, it's kind of a joke. I do really enjoy it, but I will fully admit that this movie is a train wreck. It is awful. It is abysmal. But there's a certain love of watching a train wreck, you know, rubbernecking and watching a train wreck happen, and that is Super Mario Brothers. I remember watching this as a kid and being like, this has nothing to do with the game, you know, but there is a really fun, you know, kind of mindset to it. Like, let's see how we can take the Super Mario Brothers and, you know, fuck it up as much as we can. It's just reeks of like studio. Actually, since I read into it, I don't think it was like really messed with the studio that much, but. You know, how are you really going to take a game like Super Mario Brothers, which at best, you know, the first game has like barely a story. The princess has been stolen, go save it from this dinosaur guy. But, you know, how do you make that into a movie and keep it entertaining? So, this kind of goes to show you that you really can't force things to be a movie. You know, like I heard rumors there's going to be an Angry Birds movie, which, you know, this is how it turns out. So maybe you shouldn't do that. But, I can throw this in like maybe once a year, watch it, and just go, holy crap, the 90s were a crazy time. because, you know, really they would just throw anything into a movie, and it was, I don't know. But I think Bob Hoskins has says this is the one thing he regrets most in his career, and you know, what are you going to do? But I think it's fun every now and then, but I definitely wouldn't want to watch it like once a week or anything like that. But Super Mario Brothers, I actually do really kind of enjoy that movie every now and then. The next one comes from sort of the big teen craze of the late 90s. A lot of teen movies came out, and you know, with American Pie and things like that. I think this came out before American Pie, though. I can't really remember. I don't know. But that is Can't Hardly Wait. I think this is one of the best like teen party movies out there. And whenever I talk to people, it's either like they love it or they hate it. You know, some people I know really do love this movie, and it's kind of crazy to see all the people that are in this, and just like how many have gone on to much bigger things in this movie. But it's a lot of fun, and it is kind of, it does have a heart in it, and I like movies like that, like American Pie 1, where it had a real heart to it, even though it was, you know, kind of gross out and stupid. You know, this is kind of, you know, stupid and a little bit gross out, but definitely has a heart on it, and definitely it makes you feel nostalgic for that sort of time in your life when, you know, things were changing because you're getting ready to graduate high school. But I really did enjoy this movie, and definitely check it out if you like sort of teen romps. 3 more to go, and then we'll be done here. And I'm looking at the clock, and I still got some time, so good. The next one, whenever I'm feeling down or blue or sad, I always throw this movie in, and by the end of it, I feel a lot better. And that movie is Hot Rod. And, you know, it's by the Lonely Island guys. They basically, I think this movie was originally developed for, like, Will Ferrell and his people. And then when they got down to making it, they brought in these new guys, the Lonely Island guys, like, you know, Andy Samberg and his crew. And they completely reworked the movie for their sort of aesthetic. And, you know, I show this movie to people, and they're just like, what is this, you know? And but I personally I can't get enough of them just standing there, you know, staring at each other saying cool beans. You know, I think that's hilarious. And this movie was actually my introduction to Danny McBride, who I really enjoy. And if you guys haven't watched Eastbound and Down, that's one of the best shows, one of the funniest shows on television, and it has a real heart to it as well. But there is a sort of a real joy to this madness of a movie, and like I said, whenever I feel bad or sad, I just throw this in, and by the end of it, it's too stupid to hate, so it definitely makes you feel better, and I kind of want to watch this right now. But just looking at the back and looking at all these ridiculous things, but it's definitely a fun movie, but just don't think too much while you're watching it. Okay, oh, dropping things. The next one, this came out kind of in the late 90s sci-fi boom. There was a weird kind of sci-fi boom in the 90s where just a lot of space movies came out. But this one came out, people just trashed it up and down. But I actually really enjoy it, and I still enjoy it. That is Lost in Space. You know, I watched the TV show on reruns as a kid. I think like I can't remember what channel would show it, but they would show these old, and it was such a campy, weird show. You know, Star Trek was very serious, and Lost in Space was very, you know, campy, kind of like Batman, the 1966 Batman show. But when this came out, I was really excited for it because it was a very dark and sort of new take on the Lost in Space, and I really enjoyed it. Actually, I loved the big robot. That was, I think it was Jim Henson. Yeah, Jim Henson's Creature Shop did the robot. And a lot of the puppets and things like that. But I really enjoyed this movie, and I still do. Yes, there's some acting problems in it, Matt LeBlanc, but for the most part, I think this is really great. And Gary Oldman's Dr. Smith is a pretty awesome villain in it. He's a villain, but he's not. It's weird how this movie kind of moves. It's got sort of a time travel aspect to it. That's really kind of mind-bending in a lot of ways, but when you finally wrap your head around it, it is really, I think it's a really good movie, and yeah, so definitely check out Lost in Space if you haven't. And then finally here, and then I can go like blow my nose because I just feel like my head's filling with mucus. Finally here, you know, this director, he's made... There's a nice whistle. He made a big splash with his first movie, and then basically every movie after that has been not so good, supposedly. This movie I was really excited for, and I will admit it is a bit of a train wreck in that it tries to tackle way too many things, and it's a bit too long. And that movie is Southland Tales. The director is Richard Kelly, who did Donnie Darko, and I personally really love this movie. I think it's a great how do I want to put it? It's a great piece of film, but it's not a good movie. Like, you're not going to sit down and enjoy it. I do, but you might not. But it's fun to watch and sort of see like the different ideas that he brings to the table. It touches on everything from like politics to pornography to you know, the time travel aspects of Donnie Darko. It really is sort of just a huge movie, and touches on the war in Iraq and sort of, you know, just American culture in a lot of ways. You know, our dependence on oil and the, you know, war, the eventual war that's going to happen because we're too stupid to get off fossil fuels. It's almost a hard movie to even talk to you guys about because it's so sprawling. That's sort of its downfall, is that it just covers too many topics. Like, it really feels like there's about 5 movies in here. But if you can sit down and watch it and, you know, make your way through it, you'll find some pretty great performances in it. I really love The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. I really love his performance as Boxer Santeros because it's almost like a parody of, you know, what his roles usually are. I actually really enjoy Justin Timberlake in this as well. His pilot Abilene is a really fun character because it's sort of the narrator. And it has one of my favorite scenes in it where he's at his sort of arcade where he hangs out and he starts to have this hallucination because of the drug he's on. And he has this hallucination while he's dancing with all these nurses to, oh, what's the Killers, I got soul, but I'm not a soldier. I can't remember the name of the song. But, you know, it's just a really great sort of piece because, you know, he's coming back from the Iraq War and he's kind of having these, you know, these visions of it from this drug he's taking. And it's just a kind of a really kind of a sad thing to watch his kind of mind unravel. But, like I said with, The Village, how I like to watch like certain scenes with just music. This is in a lot of ways kind of a music video also, with like the music from Moby. He did a lot of the background music for this, and just to sort of see how the scenes play out with these songs. I don't know. There's a lot of craft to this movie, but at the same time, it's like overcrafted, if you know what I mean. So, but it's definitely an interesting movie. You know, don't let the bad reviews, you know, keep you from checking it out. Rent it, try it, see if you like it or not. But I really like a lot of the stuff that this movie has to say, and you know, it just weaves too much stuff into its. Well, how long is it? Like 2.5 hours? Yeah, something like that. But anyway, those are 10 sort of movies that everyone seems to hate that I really kind of enjoy. So hopefully, maybe you saw something there that might spark your interest, and you'll go check out some of these movies. But that's all for me, because I gotta go get ready for work. Take care. I'll see you next time.